kids. And the other thing that you were about to say is during game match that I found it outstanding to say a word maybe when you serve to identify how to serve.
Yeah, one of the things, like I used to think that when we all know the power of our thinking and, how we talk to ourselves. And I used to have this idea of use your thoughts as instructional self-statements, which might be, okay, I'm going to walk out to the baseline. I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to bounce the ball, 3 or 4 times. I'm not going to look at the crowd and so on. And I used to think that was helpful. The problem is that's too many thoughts. So what studies have shown, it's called the holistic word cue, one word. So if I would say to the tennis player, give me one word that would describe how you want to play, and it'd say confident. I said, that's the word, then you say. And then you start playing. That one word will trigger confident behavior rather than using a whole bunch of words. I said to my son, when you are giving a presentation, how do you want to come across? He says, professional. I said, that's your word. You just think in terms of professional and so on. So that is very, very important, as a good strategy in the moment. I think another good thing for a person to remind themselves as part of that pressure reducing mindset is always to remember, I can choose how I respond. So you're in control of how you are responding. Your opponent is not forcing you to play a certain way. You can choose in terms of how you want to respond. If their tempo is too fast, you can choose to tie your sneakers when you really don't have to tie your sneakers. You can do a lot of things that put you in charge of how you're going to respond. And I found what I used in the speaking business as another way of reducing pressure is to play the what if game with yourself. Meaning anticipate all the things that could go wrong. What if they, I don't know how frequently they change the tennis balls, or even if you can request a change or whatever, but what if you're getting the balls, they're not changed yet, and they're not bouncing with the same zip? What do you do? What do you do if on a crucial game you're on the court on the side where the sun is coming into your eyes? What do you do if you're in a great rhythm and all of a sudden your opponent gets hurt and that slows down 5-minute timeout? Because what that does when you anticipate, it allows you to mentally figure out, if that happens, how will I handle it? You keep your composure. See, many people lose their composure. It's like they get a bad call. Many tennis players, they're serving, they're called a double fault, and then they say, oh, but that was in, and so on. And they feel that they got a bad break or whatever, and then they spiral down. By anticipating how you will handle with all the glitches that could come up, you're actually giving yourself confidence. So if they do happen, it's no problem. You're ready to handle it.
Yeah, that's a great advice. It's like I'm talking to Brad Gilbert, taking care of all the details. And the world to perform is a very big takeaway that I will take from my presentations too. And back to parents, what is the main advice can you give them?
I would say the main advice that I would give parents is trust your kid to succeed. Trust your kid to succeed. And that will bring a sense of positive expectations and a sense of optimism built in your relationships. Most parents, they'll say they do that, but they really don't. They don't trust their kids to succeed. When you say, did you do your homework? If you trust your kid to succeed, why are you asking your kid that? Did you practice? Why are you asking your kid that? You must think that there's a chance that they don't practice. You're not trusting them. So I say trust your kid to see. And here's another important thing that is important, that is very hard for parents, and that is letting your kid accept the consequences of their actions. So they see a connection.